You look at some of today's boring Winston Cup drivers, and then you have a guy like Rene Charland. His 4 championships where a lot of these modern guys on, let's say, the modified tour are crying they have 20, 22 races. Guys like Rene, Peter, Bugsy, Ernie, Ed Flemke, they were in anywhere from 80 to 120 shows a year. They were racing. In the modern age of specialization, when you have big track cars, short track cars, medium short track cars, big short track cars, these guys did it with one car. They went to Norwood. They went on the dirt at Fonda. They went to Flemington. They went to Old Bridge. They went to Manassas. They went all over the place with one car. Rene Charland set a modern standard of 4 in a row championships, running all those races. Is he the clown prince of racing? He certainly was. You always knew from those stinky cigars when he was around. I think almost everyone who's probably over 35 in this room could get up and give you a funny Rene Charland story. Many of them are unprintable, but they'd all be very, very funny. My quick one was when I was young and impressionable, the nearest track to Boston where I grew up was the Norwood Arena, and I was kind of a little motorhead. I went to high school with Marvin Rifkin's son Bobby, and Bobby said, hey, you ought to go to the Norwood Arena one Saturday night. We started going. I happened to go with some Fats Caruso fans, and we learned to boo Wild Bill Slater, and now I'm glad to say Bill and I are good friends. But after going to the races a few weeks, we started hanging around afterwards, looking at the cars, and one day I'm looking at this gold number 3, and I asked this guy who had a shirt that said Rene, and I figured, well, this guy drove it. Rene, what gear do you run in the car? And he said, none of your business, with a few expletives in between. And as, you know, my racing career or whatever habit went on, we raced with Rene, we raced against him, we laughed together, we cried together. He was one heck of a racer, and I think it's a testament to Rene Charland that he won 4 championships in a row when a racer was a racer and not one of these overpaid crybabies. I would like to induct Rene Charland to come up here, please.
Didn't say anybody. Didn't say anybody.
Rene, before we induct you, could you stand right there, please, for a minute? Could you stand right over there in front of Dr. Bergman?
No, right here.
This is for you, Rene. That's for all the times, all the snakes, all the water pistols, all the firecrackers that Rene did. But, you know, when it comes down to it... when it comes down to it, Rene Charland is and was one heck of a race car driver. And I'm really privileged to be here today. I'm privileged to see many of my friends here, and it's also a privilege to induct the champ himself, Mr. Charland.
You're only jealous because you ain't French. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I feel very, very good for coming down here. And I seen one of my old mechanics in the back there, Freddie Rosner, was a great help to me when I first started my racing with NASCAR. And I believe if it wasn't for Freddie Rosner and Tony Marcel, I probably couldn't do it. We separated, went on our racing. We were successful in everything we did. We were happy. And what the story is, I started racing to have fun. Fun is everything in racing. When you don't have no fun, what are you going to do? If you watch TV, if you don't like the channel, you flick it. Am I correct? So this is the way I feel about racing. If I can't race, if I can't have fun to enjoy it, you ain't going to have no fun. And God forbid, you ain't going to make enough money. They're going to get you one way or another. They get you when you come in, they get you when you leave, they get you when you get tired, you got to have insurance policy, you got to buy a suit. I don't want to go any further. And like I said, I want to thank NERA for this is one of the greatest things I've seen in a long time. And I'm in the process of putting up a museum of the Fonda Speedway. It's been okayed by the Fair Board. I've been looking for a long time for a place to do this. I traveled my museum from Agawam to New York and back again. It just wasn't work out because everybody wants to get a piece of the action. And believe me, you put up a museum, you ain't gonna make no money. And everybody thinks, well, what are you gonna do with the money? I said, it's my money. How can I do anything else but spend it? And I like to have all you people, when we get it going up to Fonda Speedway, you people will see what kind of dirt track racing is like. And I've been honored to be lucky up there. I'm not good, I was just lucky. I'd rather be lucky than good. But I don't know which one is better. But I had, I won a lot of races up there, and I don't know what to say, but I'm glad that this organization here really put out a nice place here. Let me see if I can remember the names here. Oh yeah, here we are. Thank you, committee affiliates, near committee. Thank you, promotion race directors and all the track ever raced on. Thank you, car owners and crew members. And first of all, I want to thank all the people that were here today to come down and put me in with the great people like Eddie Flemke. And I raced with Eddie Flemke. I was one of the chosen people that happened to be one of the Eastern Bandits with Eddie. And believe me, it was a great honor to do that. And it felt good when these Southern boys, they used to ask us, where are you going racing? I said, well, we're going to Richmond. And they said, well, we're going to Moyac then. So they had to fight for a second or third spot all the time. So I thank you very much for what you did, and I thanks little French boy here. And the Sizzler boys, which I call them the Sizzler boys, and I think they started a big deal in racing, and we all can do that. Thank you.
Champ, you and Brucey have one more thing to do, and that's to hang the plaque on the wall.
I don't want to do nothing with him.
Can you imagine he, as a member of the Eastern Bandits, meaning that he was an ambassador for New England down south? I can just hear it now. No wonder Eddie never said much. You couldn't get a word in edgewise, but truly, probably one of the greatest champions that we've had. And in a time when there wasn't a lot of exposure, and a time when there wasn't a lot of publicity, Rene Charland did it the hard way, winning multiple national championships.